Hi there. It's how you doing today? Okay. It's been a while since I've made a video, and there's a pretty good reason for that. I recently underwent dental surgery in removing a piece of bad gum tissue that was pressing against my denture plate. And the dentist said, he didn't say that, but he said that before he could work on creating a full new set of dentures, this piece of gum tissue had to be removed. So that's what the surgeon did. Excuse me. And so it took about 2 weeks after the surgery for my mouth to stop completely stop bleeding, and for the roof of my mouth to heal. He also said that I had to not wear the bad set of dentures at all, so I had to eat pureed food. It was difficult at first, but I got used to it. It became almost a challenge to identify the different foods presented to me each meal. When the surgeon pulled the last of the teeth, I called myself the Toothless Wonder, despite the fact I had a set of dentures. Well, now I really am the Toothless Wonder, because I have no teeth at all now. I don't even have the dentures. Now the dentures, the upper denture plate is from 2005, so and it's been showing enormous amount of wear, and it's really, health-wise, it's not a good idea to wear them anymore. So I have to wait until the new set of plates comes in. I've had a couple of toxic people make nasty remarks about me, regardless, in my situation, which shows their ignorance and insensitivity to other people. But with that set aside, I also want to talk about my weight and therapy. Okay, now, I complained about the lack of therapy and the fact that therapy wouldn't schedule me anymore. They kept saying it's an insurance thing, which it probably is, but it doesn't help me at all. And they say, okay, well, you're in functional decline. And it's like, well, there's a good reason why I'm in functional decline. It's because I'm not going down to the gym anymore. I'm not getting my therapy anymore. So I just happened to complain to the right people, and they set up restorative therapists to Southern City to work with me and keep my therapy going. So every time I get up, they're here to have me walk more than from here to the chair out in the hall. So what they walk with me the way therapists used to do, with one person pushing the wheelchair behind me while the other walks ahead of me or alongside me. So since that was a constant thing for a while, my standing up from a seated position started improving. My walking strides have become smoother, and it my fear of falling started to diminish, because that was really what was hindering me, with my fear of falling, because over the past few years, I did a lot of falling. And I fell in many, many times, in many places. I fell in my kitchen, I fell in the living room, I fell just outside my apartment building, I fell outside of a restaurant, in the parking lot. It's just terrible. So that created this fear of falling. So I needed my crutch, if you will. But with all this walking that I did with restorative therapy, it has diminished that fear and boost up my confidence in myself to learn not to fall. And that was really what I was able to acquire, was this sense of security and confidence in myself that I will not let myself fall. And my legs getting stronger and so forth. So, at the same time, I had to go to an appointment, and I was sitting in the dining room, and they were talking about my getting weight. Now, they weighed me a few days ago, matter of fact, early this week, on the Hoyer lift, like we've always done. And the last weighing of earlier this week showed me at 575.2. Okay, so I lost about, well, you see, I realized I thought I was at 590. It turned out I was at 580 when I was weighed, 2 months ago, because I had indicated that I lost 120 pounds. So I had to have been down to 580, not 590. So I lost only 5 pounds in 2 months. And I thought that was increasingly slow, and it bothered me a lot, and it disturbed me a lot. So they were in the dining room with me, and they were saying to me, excuse me, my mouth is so dry without teeth. So they were saying that when I was weighed earlier this week, it was not recorded, and they need a weigh. And I always got weighed before I ate breakfast, right after I woke up. And so I was saying about, all right, I'll get weighed tomorrow. I'll get weighed the next day. And I said that I was being weighed on the Hoyer lift. And they were telling me that the Hoyer lift scale, there's 2 Hoyer lifts. One with a scale that only goes up to 500 pounds. And the other Hoyer lift that goes up to 700 pounds does not have a scale at all. And that's all they have here. And I thought, that is really peculiar, because they've been weighing me on the Hoyer lift, and they've been reading a scale. They've been reading a weighing number. So if they're weighing me on the Hoyer lift, this is where doubt came in my mind, that if they're weighing me on the Hoyer lift with a scale that only goes up to 500 pounds, okay, perhaps that scale isn't calibrated above 500 pounds, and thereby these very tiny differences may contribute to the fact that the scale isn't completely calibrated to record above its maximum number. So, So that sort of sparked a thought in my head, maybe, you know, you know, maybe I should, what should I do then with the Hoyer lift with the scale? Then they wheel in what's called a standard scale, a regular scale that you just stand on and get weighed like any other. Now this scale looked pretty new. It was not the rickety old thing, that I felt not secure standing on. It looked like a pretty brand new scale. And they weighed somebody else on it. And it looked new, and they said that it does go above 500 pounds. So I thought, okay, well then maybe I'm game. I'm game to stand on it. And this was my first time standing on a stand-up scale in, 3-4 years. Excuse me. But as I said, I was game because my confidence was higher, my feeling secure was there, my fear of falling had diminished, my confidence was up. So I said, you know what, I'm game. I am game, and I'm going to stand up on this scale with all the walking that I've been doing, with the standing I did down in the gym that you saw in another video where I stood for 90 seconds. So if I could stand for 90 seconds, I'm sure I could stand for just a few seconds to get weighed. So now I didn't have my walker with me while I was in the dining room because I was just in there waiting for my appointment. Actually, I wheeled my walk. I was called sit-walked. I sat in the chair while I walked, okay? Well, I propelled myself with my feet. I call that sit-walking. So I sat-walked, or sit-walked, to the dining room while I waited for the ambulance to come to take me to my appointment. And they weighed somebody else. And so she said, you know what, I'm game. I want to get on this scale. And I felt ready. I felt so ready to go past my safety zone and go beyond my safety zone and go past it to stand up without the aid of the walker. And I said, okay, I'm ready for that. So normally what I would do is I would put one hand, my left hand on the arm of the wheelchair, my right hand on the walker. Someone would hold the walker and secure, and I would stand up, as you saw me do in the gym between the parallel bars. And so I said, I can do this. I can do this. I can stand on my own power without a walker and without somebody else's assistance. I can do this. Because as I said, my confidence had gotten, I was more confident. So that's what I did. So with one hand on the arm of my wheelchair, my right hand, instead of being on the walker, was on my right knee. And I was going to push up with my right hand on my knee into a stand-up position on my own power. And the first time I tried it, by golly, I did it. I stood up on my own power the very first time I tried. And then once I was standing, then of course the therapist stepped in and, helped me walk onto the scale. And the tall thing was not rickety. It was secure. It was strong. So I felt I could grab it and walk onto the scale. And I was so surprised to learn the difference between the stand-up scale and the Hoyer lift scale was 80 pounds. 80 pounds, that's 80. 80 pounds approximately. So, my current weight, accurately, and here's another thing, here's another reason why I agree that the Hoyer lift scale is really inaccurate in weighing me, because I'm being hoisted into the air while gravity is pulling down on my body. Gravity is pulling me down almost as if there was a giant hand pushing down on the scale. And you know when you put your thumb on the scale or anything like that, that'll make it go up. That's pressure. Well, this force is gravity. So this force was pulling my body down and forcing the scale to go up, 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 up more than it should. But here I was, standing up, erect as I could. And as soon as I became secure enough, I let go of the scale, and I stood still as I could. Held my breath and actually breathed in, breathed out while I stood there, as I had done before for 90 seconds. And they weighed me, and with a difference of 80 pounds, my weight properly is 491.2. It was 496 actually, 0.2. But I remember some years ago when I was standing up on the scale that they told me subtract 5 pounds for shoes. Because the shoes add extra weight also. So they said subtract 5 pounds for the shoes. I said, okay. So the scale read 496.2. That means I weigh 491.2. 491. Okay, so I'm out of the 600s. I'm out of the 500s. So now I'm so close to finally getting this trach out of my neck. Because that's what the surgeon who put the trach in back in 2012 told me, that I have to be at 500 pounds before considering taking the trach out. And my oxygen levels have been phenomenal. And recovery time from exertion is excellent. Excellent recovery time. That when I exert myself and I rest with deep breathing in and out, I recover very quickly. So that's up, and that's going good. So there's a good chance that very soon they will consider removing the trach. Maybe not the oxygen, but they will consider removing the trach. So anyway, but in the meantime, I'm so excited. I got restorative therapy, working with my walking, and working with other therapies, once I think of them, of course. And now I have additional confidence in standing up under my own power. Now, I cannot do that same standing up under my own power at the edge of the bed, because the bed has a lot more give than the wheelchair does. So I will not be able to propel myself to a standing position from the side of the bed. Not yet, but one day I will. In the meantime, I will practice standing up from the wheelchair under my own power, and I did it again yesterday, I believe. I had a false start. I says, okay, I can do this, And so I go, 1, 2, 3, whip, and up I stood. So I'm getting a lot of practice in standing up under my own power. And with the walking, it's smoother. So I just wanted to update you on everything that's going on. As soon as my teeth come in, I will let you know about that also, and also further developments of my therapy and my weight loss journey. So, from the time that I was at my heaviest, at 700 pounds plus, because they stopped recording after 700. So who knows how much I weighed when the trait first went in 2012. But I was at my heaviest at 700. Now I'm at 491.2. That means I lost 209 pounds. Or 208.8. I would say, right? Yeah. 208.8 pounds total from 2012. Over 200 pounds I lost. Hey, that's nothing to sneeze at. I'm very proud of that. And I got more to lose. And I got more of my life to recover. So, I just wanted to share all that with you. And thank you for watching. And thank you for listening. And I will do another update as soon as I have more information to tell you. So, if you like what you see, like what you heard, please subscribe to my channel. Any comments you'd like to leave, you can leave comments. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Take care. I'll see you soon. Alright. Bye.